What is it that's going to unite us as believers? I say in my answer simply and foundationally that, quote, only the Spirit can regenerate a man so as to cause him to declare Jesus as Lord. And we have this discussion because when we talk about in versus on, we're talking about how were people saved in the Old Testament if the Holy Spirit was not in them, right? It's popularly taught in some Christian circles, not all, but it's popularly taught in many Christian circles that the Holy Spirit was merely on people in the Old Testament, but now he is within people in the New Testament, and there's this new, greater spiritual experience that we have in the New Testament versus the Old Testament, as if to suggest that the Old Testament saints didn't know what it was like to have this Holy Spirit on the inside, right? You've seen those little labels, Intel inside. We Christians need a label that says Holy Spirit inside, okay? All right. I'll flash a little logo reveal, right? Intel inside. So we must recognize that the Holy Spirit is the one who regenerates us, causes the old man to die, causes the new man to be reborn, and it's exclusive to the Holy Spirit experience. And so if we are to recognize that the Old Testament saints were saved, then we must likewise recognize that they must have had the Holy Spirit within them. That's just the way deductional logic works with topics like the one we're having. The verse in our Corinthians passage that we looked at above, verse 2, contrasts our former blindness and ignorance as quote-unquote pagans being led by other than Holy Spirits, end quote, right? This is Paul schooling us and telling us and informing us how it was before we came to believe in Jesus, right? We were blinded. We were walking about and groping about in blindness, and we were actually being led, as he says, by demonic entities, right? But now we're being led by the one and only Holy Spirit. So either way, you're going to be under a spiritual control, whether you're saved or unsaved. You just may not know it before you were saved, that it was the other than Holy Spirits that were influencing decisions that you might make. I'm not trying to say that everybody who's unsaved is filled with a demon or has a demon or something like that. I'm of the impression that there are at least three wills at operation in the earth today. Those three wills being man's will, God's will, and Satan's will. And so you can say no to Satan and still have your own volition as an unsaved man. You can go about leading your life, doing your own thing. Like Frankie said, you do it your way. Hey, that's fine. You're going to chart your own course and make your own decisions, and you don't have to have demons influencing you left and right. But equally important to recognize, like Paul says, is that there are people who are under demonic influence or oppression, suppression. They may not even know it. Some people do, some don't, but you can still have demonic influences around you, helping you to make decisions that you're not even aware of. But Paul definitely wants us to know that now that we believe in Jesus, we as believers, we former pagans, former Gentiles. He's playing with the word Gentile there in the pagan sense. Now that we've confessed Jesus as Lord and the genuine salvation experience took place, then we are now led by the one and only Holy Spirit. Is there still a struggle? Yes, but we shouldn't have to fear that there is this overly dominant demonic influence. There's still demonic presence around us, but I believe as a genuine Christian now, if you're yielding to the Holy Spirit and surrendering to God, not living according to the flesh, you're walking according to holiness, you're walking a path of sanctification, you're putting to get the death, the deeds of the flesh, et cetera, then you're going to have less of a time struggling with demonic influences around you and things like that.